Today we see Akira and his team preparing to head to their next destination, which is the continent of monsters. Kiliaka bids farewell to Emilia and asks her to return whenever she wants and to take care of herself. Liam asks Akira to take care of Emilia, so Akira tells him to mind your own business first here. The king replies to him that they know Liam's feelings, and all that remains is Kiliaka's reply, so they learn that he will send a convoy of soldiers with them until the port. And as soon as they ask him, don't you think you are exaggerating a bit in the matter, they answer that there have been kidnapping incidents that have spread recently in the coastal area, and they must be careful and send them. Emilia holds Akira's arm and tells her father, don't worry, Dad. Akira is strong. We won't need any protection. He replies to her that it's natural for him to worry about her because that's his duty as a father. And if the matter was in his hands, he would have gone with them himself. Kiliaka tells him, if that's the case, then I am the one who will go with, and Liam too, and the rest of the soldiers. They want to go. So Akira says to them, but what is it? Is it the mayor's wedding or what? Exactly, then come here. Do you see that? He is weak to the extent that he needs protection. Or what? On the way to the port, Akira asks Yoro, why were you silent? Unusually during the past period. She answers him that only a small number, except monsters and demons, and that's why she decided to stay silent so no one would suspect her. He says to her, so you did all that to protect but haven't you realized that if you acted nicely with the Demon King would doubt your loyalty? Why? She replies to that her hearing and sight are connected to the Demon King, and he knows everything she sees and hears, but he cannot control her actions, and she has no intention of betraying him, she means, towards Akira. Anyway, Akira says to her, what if I confront the Demon King? Then I want you to stand on my side. She replies to him that when the matter happens, then she will think about his words on the occasion of this topic. So the Demon King wants to meet him seriously, but he is content with the current situation here. Emilia says to Akira, maybe the demon wants to be friends with, especially after your amazing performance yesterday. Yoro informs Akira that what he did definitely increase the Demon King's interest in, especially since there is no one else who can use the clear magic like that, besides him covering his entire body with. Akira replies to her that he did that automatic because he was afraid the clear magic would swallow Kiliaka. Yoro tells him that that is more difficult, and he should name this skill Shadow Coat. At that time, Akira asks the driver to stop and gets out of the carriage. So Emilia asks him in surprise, what is it? He explains to her that the search skill detected enemies, and indeed they find a group of bandits waiting for them, and with them a child from the Thousand as a hostage, and they threaten to kill her if they resist. Akira concludes that the bandits have someone using the search skill because they were hiding, and thus there is no solution before them except to obey the bandits' words, who as soon as they see them ask them to tie themselves up with ropes. And when they see Emilia, they recognize that she is the princess and say that their Chief Grom will be happy with this unexpected gift. And before they finish their words, Akira uses the invisibility skill, and with 2 strikes he knocks them out and ends the conversation. So the soldiers tie them up and Emilia saves the child. We learn that Grom is one of the members of the royal family in the kingdom of Orc, which is the largest kingdom in the continent of monsters. So he asks the soldiers to take the bandits and return them, and they will continue the journey alone. And the leader of the soldiers tries to make him change his mind, but to no avail because they were about to reach the port. After a very short time, we find them having reached the port and boarded a ship on its way to the continent of monsters. Akira informs them that as soon as they arrive, they will adjust their weapons, and if possible for him to raise his level, then that would be great. Emilia asks him in surprise, you want to become stronger and are not convinced with your current strength. He answers her that he must become much stronger than this so he can take revenge. For Commander Saran, Yoro lets them know that there is a cave-in port city they are going to, and he can raise his level. And anyway, the journey will take a few days until they arrive. They have no choice but to relax and enjoy this beautiful sea journey. Emilia says to Akira, enthusiastic, that this is the first time she rides a ship and she gets lost between her romantic thoughts. She will spend this time enjoyable with Akira, and they will see the sun as it sets in, the sea at sunset, in addition to the night stars. That would surely shine like jewels in this clear sky. But she wakes up from her imaginations to the tragic reality when she finds that he is not even with and is sitting reading a book with full concentration. So she asks him, what is he doing? He answers her that he is reading as she sees meaning. So she says to him, meaning, the distant one has no blood. I'm talking to you about sky and sun and stars and poetic atmospheres, and you are not even here. Oh, my brother, a curse upon your stupidity. Anyway, time passes on the journey, and brother Akira spent all his time between books and sleep until they arrive at the continent of monsters, Prout. And as soon as they get off the ship, Akira notices that all the beings are all from humans, meaning racism here is a fundamental thing and you don't. Take 2 steps before they find some thugs saying, you leave the princess with you and get out of here because we want her. In 2 words like that, he asks Emilia to step back a bit and approaches the monsters who are attacking him. So he says to them, do you see? Your yourselves is better than humans, isn't that so? And in seconds, he covers his hand with clear magic and attacks them and blinds them and passes by them very calmly, Yoro says. To him, no nice out-of-the-box thinking makes him understand that he could have wiped the floor with them easily, but he didn't want to attract attention, and as they are walking in the street, all the people are looking at with fear and worry, and specifically at Yoro. Emilia asks her if she knows the reason. Yoro answers that the residents here are terrified of black cats, and their fear has a valid reason. So he says to her that surely the matter is complicated and big at the same time. There was a girl watching them from afar, and at night then they have dinner and prepare to sleep at that time. Yoro informs them that she is going out because she will visit someone, and asks Akira to have some understanding because the matter will become troublesome for him anyway. Takes a shower and comes out to find Akira sleeping, so she says that he must be tired from the journey and let him rest, and within seconds the guest enters and Yoro lets them know that his name is Crow and that he is a blacksmith and she has arranged with him about everything. Crow says that he couldn't refuse the one who requested a service from him, who is the nightmare of Midoriya. Emilia says with surprise. Night of Midoriya. Yoro ignores the topic completely and lets them know the reason for her suggestion that they visit Crow in this continent, which is that Crow is the best blacksmith in the world. At that time, Crow asks Akira to show him his weapon, and as soon as he holds the katana and examines it, he says to him, "It seems you have been rough on the sword." The cave of Kanto. He surprises Akira that Crow knew all this information from one look at the sword and asks him if he can repair it or not. He replies to him that he can if the appropriate materials and scales are provided. So Akira says to him, "Don't worry, I will get you all these things. The important thing is that you repair my sword, and I want 20 throwing weapons." Crow looks at Akira and says to him, "You are a killer, aren't you? But even though you have the skill, your experience and mental strength are weak, and I doubt you will be able to use the weapons I will make for you." So Emilia says to him, "What do you know about Akira to talk to him in this way?" Akira calms her down because Crow's words are not wrong. Yoro confirms to him that Crow is an expert in fighting because even though he is a blacksmith now, he was a member of the previous hero's team. Shock appears on Akira and Emilia's faces, who, as soon as they hear Yoro's words, Crow finishes writing his request list, hands the paper to Akira, and informs him that he will take the sword with him and asks him to let him know as soon as he prepares the things he wants. Yoro reassures Akira that Crow is the best person to take care of his weapons. There is no need to worry, he replies to her that this is her opinion, so he trusts him and asks her where to get the money and materials from. She answers him that the easiest thing is to hunt monsters in the cave and keep the materials on the list and sell the rest for money. She continues her talk that the cave exists somewhere in the city here, but entering it depends on the adventurer's rank. So Akira says that he was expecting something like that and can deal with the matter here. Emilia lets them know that she is going out because she wants to talk to Crow about something. Akira says to her, "Okay, no problem." And when she goes out, he asks Yoro to go with her and he will gather some information before heading to the cave, and if anything happens to inform him immediately. So they say that the previous hero's team was defeated and no one remains from them except the hero and one person from the monster race, and he remembers that there was someone from the 1,000 with them and says to her, "You can blame me for abandoning my team as you like." She replies to him that this is not her intention and that his and the hero's survival was because they are strong, nothing more. So he asks her, "So what do you want anyway?" She answers that she wants him to teach her fighting, so he refuses without hesitation and tells her that he made a vow to himself that he will not take any more students. And at that time she says to him, meaning you had students before, that he replies to her that they were all spoiled kids like that and they couldn't withstand the training and they all either ran away or broke down under pressure. So she confirms to him that she will not break down nor run away. She lets him know that she wants to continue her journey with Akira, but the difference in power between them is big now and she must become stronger so she can help him. So he directs his words to Yoro. He says to her, "Oh, nightmare of Midoriya, I told you that I will only accept requests for repairing and making weapons, isn't that so?" Yoro replies to him that this was their agreement and she committed to it, and Emilia's request has no relation to the weapon top, and the most important thing is that he does not call her by that name again. So he says to her, "You are the symbol of terror who planted fear in the continent of monsters, and there is no more suitable name than this to call you by. And hey," Emilia says to her, in surprise, "wasn't your first name the Black Cat? What is this nightmare of Midoriya?" Yoro tells her that the matter happened 100 years ago, and Midoriya was the most flourishing city in the continent at that time. The Demon King sent her on a mission to discipline the monsters because of their invasion of the Demon continent, and her entire mission was to do something as a warning to the officials that their actions will not pass easily. But that day, she lost control of herself, and her monstrous instinct took over her, and the city turned to ashes unnecessarily. And since then, the monsters have called her Knight of Idoria, and the black cat became a symbol of terror. For them at this moment, Akira says that their sleep is connected, and he was negligent about this topic. But it seems that Yoro wanted to tell him exactly what happened, and Yoro continues her talk and says to Crow, "You think that I had no desire for life because of what I did. Isn't that so? But my feelings have completely changed, and I am serving Akira, so he will not allow the past to be repeated." So Crow says to her, "You mean that you have changed, right?" She answers him that he can consider it selfishness, but currently her name is Yoro. She will not interfere in her life as long as she is serving Akira. Crow replies to her that he never held any hatred against her from the start, but this is not the end of the story. And he begins to continue the story, and we see Crow standing in front of his grave and says to Yoro, "What brought you here? Are you still not satisfied with all this destruction?" She replies to him that if there is anyone he knows died because of her, then he can kill her now and take revenge from her, and she will not resist. He explains to her that she is just a tool in the hand of the Demon King, and hatred for her would be like hatred for a sword or a spear, nothing more. At that time, she asks him, "So if that's the case, then your target is the Demon King, isn't that?" So he answers that the one who killed his sister was not her, nor the Demon King, and he informs her that she was trying to help the survivors trapped under the rubble after the attack on the city. At that time, there was a person in a hurry and wanted to get out of the city, and he might have been afraid that Yoro would attack again. That's why he did not hesitate for one moment in killing the innocent people of his race for his personal interest, and the target of his revenge is the person who killed his sister just because he is from the royal family, and his name is Grom. And at the end of his talk, Emilia asks him, "Did you take revenge for your sister?" He answers her that he did not take revenge because his sister, the kind one, would never have accepted that he do something like that, and it's good that he realized before it was too late. Emilia says that his sister is poor because he made her, a justification for his cowardice and escape from reality. He replies to her that she doesn't know anything, that's why she talks. Just like that, she says to him that she was exactly like and deceived herself with the pretext that she was doing that for her sister's benefit, but Akira saved her and made her face the truth there. Crow asks her to leave, and while Akira is walking in the city, he is surprised by an explosion that shakes the entire city, and a wave of monsters is coming out of the cave, so he runs quick to see what is happening. He finds Emilia and Yoro doing the same thing, and Emilia blocks the monster's attacks and asks Yoro to help the residents in escaping from the place, and as she is fighting, she hears a whistle that reminds her of that magic, and when she turns its owner, the whistler says to her, "Oh, welcome, oh princess." At this moment, she remembers that this is the person who deceived her sister, so he reveals his face. He lets her know that his name is Orm, and since the Demon King asked him not to kill her because of her rare magic, he will arrest her, and he blows on the flute with him, and the monsters surround Emilia from every direction. In the other side, Akira was fighting any monster before him, and as he is busy killing monsters, Yoro apologizes to him and informs him that the demon who released the monsters from cave has kidnapped Emilia, and without thinking, Akira heads towards the cave with all speed, and as soon as he arrives, he takes a sword from beside a dead soldier and kills the monsters attacking him, and anger is apparent on him. Yoro arrives and apologizes to him again that she couldn't protect Emilia, so he says to her the talk is not important. Now the important thing is that we finish off these monsters, and he asks her to stay away from him. As soon as Yoro moves away, Akira activates the shadow magic and unleashes the rage that swallows all the monsters present in the place at this moment. Akira says that if he had continued his life in his own world, he would never have felt this anger, and after calming down a bit, he discovers that his anger is because Emilia is dear to him, exactly like his mother and sister. So I wonder what will happen like this. My otaku friend ends today's part with us from Akira's story. So if you have reached this far and liked today's video, do not forget your like and go down to the comments and tell me your opinion in today's episode. Goodbye.